Shalom, shalom. We continue in Maseches Taanis. We are on Yud Beis Amud Aleph. On 12a, we are on the third line. And the Gemara is currently discussing the concept of fasting. And today we're going to get a bit into more the definition of a fast, how we establish a fast, how an individual can say, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a fast, and some more of the technical halachic requirements. Also, when people can't fast, we're going to talk a little bit about Megillas Taanis in that book. So really a very jam-packed Amud and very halachic Amud. And most of the Amudim in this Masechta are not going to be exactly like this. They're going to be much simpler and easier. But we're going to go through it, and there's still a lot really wonderful stuff on this Amud. With that, let's get in the third line. Rav Chisda says, Kol Taanis shelo shika alav chama, whatever fast which is not done until the sun is set, lav shmei Taanis. It's not called a Taanis. In other words, a person cannot do a Taanis until a certain point in the middle of the day. Once a person does a Taanis from the morning, and he can't stop at 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock. He has to go all the way until that night. But now the Gemara is going to contradict this. It's going to challenge and bring several potential examples of fasts which did end in the middle of the day. Meisvei. Gemara raises the contradiction. Anshe Mishmar mit'anin v'lo mashlimin. That men Anshe Mishmar, which were certain people who did certain avoda for the Beis Hamikdash, they would, and we're going to learn more about them in the second parak of this Masechta. Mit'anin v'lo mashlimin. They would fast and they wouldn't complete the fast. They would only do a partial fast. So the answer is Hasam litzori nafshe ba'amahi. That's only when they did a midday fast, or they fasted until Chatzos. That's only to pain themselves, to be with the tsar of the tzibur, to engage in the suffering of the community, but nothing more than that. That's not a real fast, and therefore that does not disprove what Rav Chisda said. Tashma, come in here. Another possibility. Damar Rav Elazar ben Tzadok, Ani mibnei banav shel Sanav ben Binyamin. I am one of the sons of Sanav ben Binyamin, and that's one of the families of people who used to contribute wood to the Beis Hamikdash. We're going to learn more about them in the fourth parak. So this is all coming along later in the Masechta. There was 1 year where Tisha B'Av fell out on Shabbos. It's possible. The 9th of Av is on Shabbos. So what do we do when that happens? We push Tisha B'Av off to the next day. That's how we do it. And then we fast on the 10th of Av. V'dechinuhu lachar Shabbos, and it was pushed off to after Shabbos, meaning to Sunday. V'hat aninu bo v'lo hashlaminu. So we fasted on that day, but we didn't complete the entire fast. Why? B'pnei sheyom tov shelanuhu, because that was our Yom Tov. As we'll see in the fourth parak, this family of from the Shevet Binyamin of Sinav, the family of Sinav, their Yontif, their special Yontif, where they would give wood to the Beis Hamikdash, was on the 10th of Av, and therefore that was one of the days they were not allowed to fast, but they did fast until half day. So clearly we can fast until half day. No, Gemara gives the answer. Hasam nami litzori nafshi ba'amahu. That's also just pain, just general to pain oneself to be with the tsar of the tzibur. That's not considered a full fast, so that cannot be counted as a proof against Rav Chisda. The Gemara is going to try again though. Tashma, come in here. Damar Rabbi Yochanan, as Rabbi Yochanan said, Aha b'ta'anis ad she'avo levesi. Let me be in my Taanis until I'm going to go to my house. This is a story where I believe this is in the end of Maseches Makos on Chav Daled, and Daf Chav Daled, where Rav Yochanan was asked by the Reish Galusa, or by the Nasi, to go into his house, to come eat a meal in the Nasi's house. And Rabbi Yochanan didn't want to. So he said, no, it's okay. I'm fasting until I get to my own house. Then I'm going to break my fast. But the question is, he was going to get to his house clearly in the middle of the day. And therefore, his fast, if he was really fasting then, it would have been only a fast during the middle of the day. Answer, Hasam l'shmoti nafshem mi bei nesiya hu David. He was only saying that so he could avoid going over to the Nasi's house. So this is an interesting story because it tells us a few things. Because first of all, it tells us that Rabbi Yochanan and the Nasi were not so close. Rabbi Yochanan did not want to go for whatever reason. Maybe he didn't trust the kashrut. Maybe they had political disagreements. Whatever it may be, they weren't they weren't such good friends. And also what it tells us is that the Nasi didn't exactly know this halacha, that you're not allowed to fast until half day. And Rav Yochanan was able to use it as an excuse. So maybe that's why he didn't want to go over his house, because the Nasi clearly wasn't so knowledgeable about certain halachos. Maybe he was also not knowledgeable about other ones Rav Yochanan was worried about. I don't know. But anyway, this raises the question, how is Rav Yochanan allowed to lie in this case? Not for now, but that is a very interesting question. We move on, and until now, Rav Chizda's statement stands, that we can never have a fast that only goes until partly into the day. It has to go through the entire day. Amar Shmuel, Kol Taanis shel kiba alav mi ba'od yom. Anybody who has a fast which he does not begin the previous day, meaning he does not accept on himself from the day before that tomorrow I'm going to have a fast, lav shemei Taanis. It's not called a Taanis. It's not called a fast. The Yasif, but if he fasts anyway, then what is it considered? Amar Rabba Bar Shila, Dami Limapucha Demalia Zika. It's like a big vat that's filled with air. It's empty. It doesn't mean anything. It's just might as well, like we learned yesterday, on yesterday's Amud, might as well feed his food to the dogs, because it's not a fast. It's not accomplishing anything. It's not doing anything. And there's no point in fasting if he did not declare from the previous day that he was going to be fasting. Emas makbile, when is a person supposed to declare such a fast? Rav Amar b'mincha. Rav says during mincha. Now this is talking about a time of day, not during the tefillah, as we see from the next line. Is Shmuel Amar b'tfilas mincha. Shmuel said in the tefillah, when you're actually davening the mincha prayer, that's where you say in that Shemona Esrei at a certain point you insert, tomorrow I accept a fast on myself for tomorrow. Amar of Yosef, Kavase de Shmuel Mistavra. It makes sense that Shmuel's opinion is more logical, and it makes more sense to accept the fast in Tfilas Mincha, Dichsev b'Megillas Taanis, as it says in Megillas Taanis, Lahan kol inish de yese aluye mikadmas dina yesar. Any person who had accepted a fast unto himself, yesar, is prohibited from eating. So this is talking. A little bit of background is necessary here to understand what's going on. Megillas Taanis was a book which was written during the second Beis Hamikdash. There was a bunch of Yamim Tovim that they had that celebrated certain miracles that happened during Bayis Sheni, and the only real halachic point of those holidays was that they wouldn't fast and they wouldn't say hespedim. They wouldn't eulogize people on those days because they wanted people to be happy. Other than that, people went to work, people did everything else. There weren't really any sudas or any other mitzvahs, anything like that. It's just on this day, this is a very happy day because some miracle happened for us. We're not allowed to fast today. Hanukkah was one of those holidays, and there are many others that we don't keep anymore. Once Bayis Sheni was destroyed, many of those Yomim Tovim went away as well. But nevertheless, this is talking about a case where a person, he let's say at the beginning on Rosh Hashanah, he says for the rest of the whole year, I'm going to fast on every single Monday and Thursday. For whatever reason, I want to take on these additional fast days. These days, I want to, in addition to fasting, I'm also not gonna talk for 12 hours. I'm gonna take on a Taanis dibur, meaning a fast of speech. I'm gonna just use this day to be in tefillah and trying to get close to Hashem and doing what I need to do, that kind of thing. So let's say a person said this at the beginning of the year and comes along one Monday in the year, and what do you know? It fell out on one of the holidays where it says in Maseches Taanis a person is not allowed to fast. What does a person do? So the answer is it really depends, and we'll see what that depends on. But right now, this is what we're talking about. Lahan kol inish de yesei alohi mikadmas dina. That if any person had taken a fast on him before this, then yesar, and yesar, he will be prohibited. And we're going to understand what this word means and what does that actually mean. Is he prohibited from fasting, or is he prohibited from eating? And depending on Rashi versus Tosfos, it's not exactly so clear, but nevertheless, this is the general framing of what's going on at this point in the Gemara. So, my lav yesar atzmo b'tzilo, doesn't this mean that he prohibited himself from eating during his prayer? Lo, not the case. Ye aser atzmo, it's forbidden for him. So I'm going to go through what Tosfos says, because I think that is much clearer than what Rashi says. That's just the way I understood it. So let's just take a look. Perish, explanation. Ye aser ba'alef. It's ye aser with an aleph, which comes from the word of isur, asur or isser. Same word here. Have lashon isser. This is the language of prohibition. Sha'asar atzmo. That it's forbidden for him. It's forbidden to him. The yesar, and the word yesar, have lashon hasara. That's the language of hasar, kolomar yasur min haneder, to be distant from this neder, removed from the neder. Yia. So what does yesar with two yuds mean? Yia mutter le'achol lemachar. That he is permitted, he's allowed to eat tomorrow. Sheyia yom tov ve'ein lehitanos, because it's a yom tov and he should not fast on that day. So therefore, these are the two ways of understanding it. Either he's forbidden from eating, or he's permitted, and it's mutter for him to eat the next day because it's a Yom Tov. Pligi ba Rabbi Chia v'Rabbi Shimon b'Rebbe. So there's a machlokas between Rabbi Chia and Rabbi Shimon, son of Rebbe, regarding this question. Chad Amar Yesar. One says that Yesar, meaning he has to eat. The Chad Amar Ye Aser, and the other one says it is forbidden to him. He cannot eat. Manda Amar Yesar, the one who says Yesar Kida Amrinan, the opinion is as we've explained above. Manda Amar Yeaser, but the one who says that is Yeaser, again from the lashon of Isser, Maihi. What does it mean? Did Tanya but Megillas Taanis, as we learned in Megillas Taanis. Now, note here, just side note, that when we quote Megillas Taanis, we use the word Ditanya, because even though Megillas Taanis is not in the Mishnah, nevertheless, it was written by Tanaim, and therefore Ditanya. It's actually earlier, much earlier than the Mishnah. So it is one of the earliest books of Torah Sheba'al Peh that we have, and very important. So we use the word Tanya when we quote from it. So this is what it says in Megillas Taanis. Kol inish de yesi alohi likan mistina ye aser. That any person who had taken on a fast or had promised a fast from before this, ye aser. It's forbidden for him to break his fast. He has to still fast that day. Ketzad, how can we understand this? Yacha chekibel alav sheni v'chamishi v'sheni shakol hashana kula. If an individual person had accepted on himself to fast every single Monday and Thursday for an entire year, the iru bam yamim tov v'maksum b'megillas Taanis, and just so happened to be one of those Mondays or Thursdays fell out on one of the yamim tovim that's specified in Megillas Taanis, that you are not allowed to fast. So now we're going to see what the difference is. When are you allowed to eat the next day, and when do you have to fast the next day? Im nidro kodem ligzera seinu. If he made his neder, his shivua, before the gzera, before they established that day as a holiday, then yavtil nidro as gzera seinu. Then his neder will annul our decree, our gzera. The im gzera seinu kodemes. But if the establishment of this day as a holiday came before the neder, then tevatel gzera seinu es nidro. Then the gzera will undo his vow. In other words, if a person on Rosh Hashanah says, I am going to fast every single Monday and Thursday for the rest of the year, and then in the middle of Kislev, the rabbis get together and they say, next month we're going to declare this day as a holiday for the rest of forever, every single year from now on, that day will be a holiday. Since this person made the neder to fast before they made the gzera, he is to fast on that day, because the neder came before the gzera. But if the gzera came before the neder, for example, if in the previous year the rabbis had already made that a holiday, and then the next Rosh Hashanah the person said, I'm going to fast every Monday, Thursday, then he is to not fast on that day, because the gzera came before the neder, it undoes his neder. That's the general idea. That's what's going on here. We continue in the Gemara. Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Ad masai ochel v'shoteh. Until when can a person eat and drink the night before? Meaning a person says, tomorrow I wanna fast for whatever reason, and we'll discuss more reasons why a person would want to fast, want to establish a fast for himself. So until when can he eat? We know that his fast that he takes on himself is only a 12-hour fast. It's only during the day. So how far into the night is the person allowed to eat? Answer, Ad sheya'aleh amud hashachar, until sunrise, essentially. That's when he's allowed to eat. Divrei Rebbe. That's according to Rebbe. Rabbi Eliezer ben Shimon Omer, ad kros hagever, until the rooster calls out, until the rooster on the top of the roof starts cawing, and that's when a person is allowed to eat until, but then he has to stop. Amar Abaya says, Lo shanu ela shelo gmar sudaso. This only refers to a person who had not finished his meal. Aval gmar sudaso, but once a person finishes his meal, eino ochel. Then at that point, even if it's at the beginning or early part of the night, he's not allowed to eat any further beyond that. Esrei Rava. The Rava challenged this. Gomar va'amad, if a person had finished and then stood up, hareza ochel, he can still continue to eat. So if a person stood up, that implies he finished his meal. So why is he allowed to eat if once you finish your meal, then you have to stop? This is the challenge that Rava is raising towards Abaya. So answer hasam kishelo silek. That's only referred to a person who had not closed up his table. But once you remove your table, then the meal is really done, and that's when you're not allowed to eat anymore. Ikada Amre, and some explain the machlokas Rava and Abaya slightly differently. Amar Rava. Rava says, Lo shanu ela kishelo yashan. This is only referring to a person who had not yet fallen asleep. Aval yashan eino ochel. But once a person falls asleep, a person cannot eat anymore. And Esrei Abaya challenged this. Yashan va'amad. If a person sleeps and then gets up, hareza ochel, he can still eat. So clearly we see that a person who falls asleep can continue eating. Answer, hasam b'mitnam name. That's when a person is only dozing off. A person is drifting in and out of sleep. That is still okay. A person can still eat after dozing off if he wakes up again. Hechidami mitnam name. So what is mitnam name? Amar Rav Ashi explains, nim velo nim. If a person is asleep and not asleep, tir velo tir. He's awake but not really awake. Dikaru le va'ani. That if they call him, they ask him a question, he'll answer the question. Velo yada adure svara. But he doesn't know how to answer with serious logic and thinking. But once they remind him of something, he remembers it. So in other words, it's like like some of you guys sleep in class. This is how you're asleep, you're not asleep. The Rebbe calls on you. Oh yeah, I know the answer, but you're not really paying attention. I kid, I joke. Yeah, I'm sure this applies to no one who's listening to this now for sure. But you'll know what I'm talking about. That there's a way that a person can be dozing off, not really asleep, but kind of asleep. And if a person does that kind of sleep, then he's still allowed to continue eating, even if he's going to be fasting during the next day. Okay, I hope that was clear. It was a little bit of a more challenging Amud than we usually have. And tomorrow we will continue with Yud Beis Amud Beis. And I hope that was clear. Hope you all have a beautiful